Hello and welcome to the MRO show presented by Chadwell Supply. I'm your host, Adam Porter. Chadwell Supply is 100% dedicated to the multifamily industry. Your order is on our truck delivered the next day. Learn more at chadwellsupply.com. Today on the MRO show, we're going to be talking renovations and capital expenditure projects with Jimmy Scott, Vice President of Renovations with Chadwell Supply. Jimmy, how you doing?
Very well. Thank you, Adam.
It is great to have somebody here to get your perspective on the renovation projects. We're going to talk a little bit about what they should look like and what they can look like when people are planning properly, budgeting properly, and they have the right partner to work with them every step of the way. So Jimmy, before we get into that though, I'd love to hear a little bit about your background. How did you get into renovations with Chadwell Supply?
That's a good one. Started out as a residential home builder, got into subcontracting, got into multifamily through that vehicle, and was actually on site performing some of the things that we now sell products and offer for today. Over years came, and lucky enough and fortunate enough to have the opportunity to come to Chadwell. And we pioneered this program about 2015 and been going ever since.
What were some of the reasons that Chadwell Supply decided to invest in a dedicated renovations program?
Back at that time, our sales team that was out in the field, they were trying to see as many people as they can and service our customers as best as they can. Renovations, we know, takes time. We have to have an allocated amount of time to walk the property, potentially measure various unit styles and types, different products within that unit. And Chadwell Supply thought it best to hire someone with a background in construction that could come out and offer up the time needed to best serve the customer.
I know a lot of our customers benefit from having a special renovations account. Tell me a little bit about what a renovations account is and what are the benefits of having one?
Well, it's in essence, it's just a separate account. There's no other credit that's going to be required. We are offering that as an extension of your job. So we take the overall job scope and we divide that out by month and establish a credit line that way. What it does, Adam, is that it frees up your normal MRO account so that you're not going to be burdened with any capital expenses, especially in the summer months.
So we can keep the projects organized and keep them both running on budget and on time?
That is the goal.
So let's talk a little bit about having that as the goal. What are some questions, if I'm a customer out there, if I'm a property manager and I'm thinking about doing a renovation, or I see the need to maybe update some of our units, some of our properties, what are some questions that I need to ask to make sure that my renovation goes as well as it could?
Well, in its current climate right now, what are we going to do? What's going to get you the greatest return on your investment? Years ago, when there was a transition from incandescent lighting over to halogen and then ultimately LED, is the expense going to be worth the investment? That's really a huge part of it. And then secondly, what kind of staffing capabilities do you have? Do you have the people on site that can do the job, or will it have to potentially be subcontracted out? Of course, that'll be an added cost as well.
So really, we want to look at logistics of the process first. And we also want to think about what our ROI, our return on investment, is going to be, because it really is all about maintaining balance with the competition, isn't it?
Absolutely. Obviously, kitchens are a huge impact to any multifamily unit. Cabinet door fronts are a cost-effective solution to a small rehab. Also, keeping up with the current trends in lighting and plumbing have been really a staple in renovations over the last several years.
What are some of those on-trend items? Because I know that does shift from time to time. What are some items that your team is seeing that have become really popular in renovations right now?
Absolutely. As I said, most of the market has already shifted to LED, but the color selectable LED is really exciting right now. You don't have to worry about having it too bright or too dim. You can actually select that by the new products that are out there. Black fixtures and plumbing and hardware have been really, really popular over the last year and a half.
Yeah, those matte black fixtures are a really pretty item when they
They
go
are.
in.
They are. High neck spring faucets, really good stuff.
Yeah, just little extras that people can go in, and when a potential resident is walking through the door, they can see the difference, can't they?
Absolutely. It doesn't require, an obscene amount of money to make a unit look fresh and clean. Some of the plug and switch covers that are offered right now will modernize a unit at a very minimal expense.
So really just a little bit extras, and it helps then to have a team like yours that's dedicated and really knows what those little extras ought to be.
Oh, yes. We have really prided ourselves in the employees that we've been lucky enough to get. These are trained specialists in the field of renovations. This is what they do. So they're going to come out there and help you keep on budget and keep on time so that we can have a successful project.
So when we talk about successful projects, I know you said the renovations department for Chadwell Supply started in 2015. Is that correct?
Yes.
2015. And you had a background in construction prior to that.
That's right.
So share with me a positive, successful renovation projects that your team's been able to be a part of.
Well, we're getting better every day, Adam, but we have seen and heard from our customer partners what we can do to continually improve. So there's no real too small renovation, and there's nothing too large. Some of our largest ones have been entire apartment communities all at one time, upwards of 250 units, all delivered to a container so that the customer could have the items there and didn't have any worry about product maybe being discontinued or any back order situations that could have come around. And then on the small scope, as I said, to come out there and actually meet with our customer partners and come up with a solution for them that's going to be cost effective and have a high impact to them. Really, we're just very versed all the way around.
So when the renovation specialist comes out to the property, what kind of questions are they going to be asking the property manager or the maintenance supervisor so the folks on the property can be prepared to answer those questions?
Product. That's the one question that we ask all the time. What is it that you're looking for? And then how much are you wanting to spend? What matters most to you? There's a lot of things that are available out there on the internet right now. Some of these items are difficult to get. We at Chadwell Supply have a great variety of items that we're going to be able to fit your need best. So we're going to ask what product you're trying to upgrade, and then also advise you to make sure that that is going to be the best bang for the buck.
Gotcha. And so we talked a little bit about some of the fixtures and some of the items. You talked about the color select lighting, which is huge and popular. You can get one style of light, and then you can put it in different rooms,
That's
from what
right.
I understand. Set the color select on there, and so they're getting the right temperature for every different space. And then you talked about the matte black plumbing fixtures. Is another style or finish out there that's popular if you're not interested, or maybe matte black doesn't fit for your unit? What is another style that's popular right now and on trend?
Well, satin nickel you still can't go wrong with. That has been one that has really stood the test of time. It's been around for many, many years. It's not a fad that's going to come and go. It's still very, very popular today.
And I know one of the questions too, when folks are sitting down to plan a renovation, they're looking out at kind of the global news, and they're looking at international news. They might have some questions or some concerns about supply chain.
Yes.
We see, you look at the news, we see what's going on around the world, and there are some challenges, we'll say. What are some ways that Chadwell Supply, your team, helps the on-site property teams overcome some of those challenges?
Well, we're fully transparent, first and foremost. We're going to share the data with you. We're going to tell you exactly what's going on out there in the world. We're going to send it out via email so that you'll have an idea and understanding of where it is and why it is the situation that we're in. Second, again, we pride ourselves in the right group of individuals that are going to lead you in the right direction so that you don't misstep or pick a product that may become unavailable in a week or a month. We want to make sure that this product that you get is going to finish the entire project for you.
And so talking about finishing those projects, now we don't always have the opportunity to come in, or your team doesn't always have the opportunity to come in the beginning of a project. We want to help people plan and look ahead and
Sure.
budget. But what happens when your team comes up against a challenge? Maybe a property is in the middle of a project and things are just gone sideways and they're SOS and need some help.
Well, at Chadwell Supply, we want to find out why. What exactly went wrong, and make sure that we can be the right fit for you. We do want to be a partner. Once that's established, then we're going to take that list of materials that you've selected, and we're going to cross it over into our in-stock inventory, and then we're going to bring up any problems that could occur with that product. An example would be a particular faucet that's going to be a special order and potentially cause you some delays. We're going to make that point clear before we move forward. Once we've established the full product line, then we can move forward in what we call a successful renovation. Be more than happy to come in, though, and take over that job and try to get it back on track for you. It's like I said in the beginning, the renovation field managers here at Chadwell Supply are going to take as much time as needed to make you comfortable with the job.
And what are some benchmarks? If you were to sit back and say, this is a successful job, what are some things that you look for to call something successful?
Well, we want to have as close to 100% fulfillment as humanly possible. And then we want to meet or exceed your delivery expectations. We want to make sure that we convey any information negatively or positively to you. So if there's going to be a delay in an item, we want to let you know that well in advance of your order. At Chadwell Supply, we offer a 60-day order potential. So what I mean is you can order up to 60 days in advance of needing that product. That gives us plenty of time to bring up any possible scenarios or problems that are going to arise before you get that order.
Let's say maybe there is an issue that comes up. What would I do if I'm a property manager and maybe I missed something or I made a mistake or skipped an item and I go, oh no, we needed water heaters after all. What do I do?
So we let you know well in advance that there was a problem or potentially a delay in the product, and then we're going to offer you up a solution. So we can offer something as simple as a substitute item for the same cost, just to keep the project on track and rolling.
So it sounds to me, Jimmy, like the biggest thing that people need to understand is the communication is key. Start,
Absolutely.
Middle, and finish.
Paramount. Can't do it without you. Can't do it without the customer. As good as we are, it still requires their staff and their injection into the project. It's really difficult to just order and hope. We want to hear from you. We want to know what we're doing well and things that we can improve on always.
Well, what kind of questions are you hoping to hear from a customer when they call you up and say, we're thinking about doing a CapEx project? What are some of the questions you expect to hear?
I would expect them to get an idea of maybe what they should budget. Kind of when you're talking about doing an upgrade, one of the things that do come up often is how much would it cost me? And we can answer that question. We're gonna talk about the product selection and find out what it is exactly that you're trying to upgrade. And then secondly, they may want to know what it takes, how long does it take to get a renovation up and going with Chadwell Supply, which typically from the time that we come out, walk the property, get the account set up and start delivery, we can do it all within 2 weeks.
If I'm a potential resident and I'm walking into a unit and I see obvious upgrades, I see you talked about the outlets with the tech chargers in
Sure.
there. You talked about the new on-trend finishes. If I see that kind of stuff, I'm going to have a positive experience. I'm going to think this property is looking out for me. They're taking care of the details. They're putting some investment into where I'm going to be living. They're putting some investment into my home.
That's what we've seen ourselves. Yes.
And so what kind of feedback have you gotten from some of the customers you've been able to work with?
Well, it's been very positive. Smart technology right now is really taking over the market. Most new multifamily builds have the best smart technology. Some of the older communities need to probably upgrade to that. It is the expectation out there in the market that you're going to be able to come in and use a USB cord and probably tell Siri to turn your lights on.
So as we're wrapping up here, Jimmy, really thank you again for your insight and your experience. We really appreciate it, helping us think about how to be successful with our renovations. We talked about communication. We talked about having an expert partner that you can trust through the process. And you talked about some of getting the details right. Without breaking the bank, looking at the different finishes, the different items and the different products to upgrade a little bit. So maybe run through just a few more items to wrap up here. Items they can look at, small investments that make a big difference.
Countertops are very large. Cabinet door fronts make a great impact on an older community. Current trend seems to be white in most places. Painting the boxes and replacing with a new shaker front, satin nickel pulls, it really modernizes a unit. Minimal investment on that. As I said, the switch and plug covers make a unit look clean and new. Just trying to keep the unit fresh. But I do appreciate you having me today, Adam, and I hope our people will think of Chadwell Supply when they think about renovations.
Well, Jimmy, thanks again so much. Really appreciate your insight, your expertise, and the tips for the folks out there that are thinking about renovations.
My pleasure.
And thank you for listening to this episode of the MRO Show presented by Chadwell Supply. If you appreciated what you heard here, please rate us 5 stars on your podcast service of choice. And if you're interested in listening to more episodes of the MRO Show, you can find us at chadwellsupply.com/podcast.